purpose of today's session is to understand how we can implement CI/CD in Mule. So for this, we are using a Jenkins. So we are going to integrate the Mule with Jenkins. The main aim is that whenever we push the code to the GitHub, it will automatically build that code and deploy it to the Cloud Hub. We do not go and do that process manually. So it will save us our time. For an example, whenever we create a code in Studio, we have to build it manually. Then we have to go to the Studio and log in it, and we have to deploy it manually. So it will take a some amount of a time. So to save that process and timing, we are going to implement this today. So basically, three steps are involved in this CI/CD implementation. So the configuration requirement for that is Maven is already installed in your system, Jenkins, and the GitHub
Hi,
account.
Praveen.
You have there.
Hi.
So the first step is to add this configuration in your Mule project. This is the configuration. So I will show you where you have to exactly add this in your system. In form file, you have to add this here. So inside the configuration, plugins configuration. After you added this here, so next step is setting up then the configuration in the Jenkins. So just first you install the Jenkins, then set up the username and the password. Then you come to the dashboard. So after coming to the dashboard, come to new, click on the new. So in new, just give the name mm, Jenkins. Any name, whatever you want to give. Just click on the face time. So after click on the face time, click on OK. So in description, you can give anything. My first ranking configuration, anything. If you want the code from the Git, just click on the Git. Then you have to provide the URL for a Git. For an example, suppose just go to this cockpit and paste it here. Then you have to add your credentials here. Just click on the Jenkins. So here you have to provide the username. Like my username is matrix.com. Then in password, you do not have to provide a normal password. Just go to settings. In settings, you go to developer settings and generate a personal token. So after when you click on generate new token, here it will ask for a password. You provide the password. Then one key is generated, which you have to pass there. For an okay, so once you provide your password, you will get a personal token. So for an example, I have already created one token. So that token you have to paste here. Okay. And click on add. So when you click on add, it will remove this. Then you have to specify which branch you want to add. Whenever we push a code, like in my project, there are multiple multiple branches. So I want specific for my this particular branch. Then I can remove master and paste it like this. Then click on the GitHub book trigger and then build execute shell. So in this shell, you have to provide a one command. So in this, the command is this. Just paste that particular command here. So the command is maven clean deploy. I am skipping the unit for now, providing the runtime version. You can add whatever you want, like 4.4. Then the name of your application, then the username of your account. Suppose username is this and the password is this. The username of Anypoint platform and the password of Anypoint platform. But the one problem is this password is visible. So I think if you are working with more than two people in a same project, so your another person also can see your password. So one thing we can do this, we can click on the mask password. We can add a user name and the username of your account, like Praveen, and then add a password. Password. So password. Suppose we have add this. Okay. Then here just replace this with dollar curly bracket username. It will take a username from here. It is a variable which we are going to use. So actual it is this. So similarly for the password. Uh, Password. Okay. So in this way we can hide our username and the password. Even if you see that I can also not see my username and the password. Okay, so let's come down and click on save. So that's all from Jenkins configuration. Now, what last step is config adding a webhook in a GitHub. This step is the optional. If you want, like whenever the Git you push a code to Git, it will automatically trigger that build. In that case, we can use perform this step. Otherwise, you can skip this step and go to and just simply click on the build. It will automatically build that particular. Let's go to for this. Okay. So like you want to add a webhook in this project. So here you will see a one button. It is not visible in my screen because I do not have access of this repository. For example, or a owner of this repository. If otherwise, if you are owner of a repository, here is one button is coming, settings name. Just click on that settings, then click on the webhook button. In that webhook, you have to simply add the URL of this Jenkins, only this part on that particular, and click on OK. So when you click on that OK, it will automatically configure the process. Let me see, I have another account for this or not, so that I can show you. Hmm. A webhook in this particular project. So I go to the settings. In settings, there is one button webhook. In webhook, add webhook. So in add webhook, you have to add a URL of your Jenkins. This and this, and at the end you have to add a git hub like this, and just come down, click on the, you can choose any of the option, just push event. I want this push event, add a webhook. So now your webhook is configured. So all this three step is implemented. So whenever you push, uh, let's, I will give you one example. Push the code to Git. So it will automatically trigger an event in the Jenkins, which take out the code from the GitHub and build that particular code and deploy it to the cloud automatically. You do not need this come to come here and do build. Click on build now button. So it will save your time. Otherwise, you have to come here and just click on the build now button to build that particular configuration.
The documents automatically.
Just sign in. Those I have done change in form file, testing webhook. I have did commit to GitHub. Okay. If I am going to check just my previous job in bank API, so if you see that it will automatically start building the code. It has taken as soon as I have pushed the code to the Git, it will start taking the code from the Git and building that in the Jenkins. Okay. Uh, uh, do you have any question?
Yeah, this in webbook na actually previously.
Yeah, that message will be come from the web. If you see that this application will start automatically deploying
Okay.
with the latest code.